This is a podcast from the Dorchester Online Radio Company. There are some terms and conditions regarding its use. Probably. We hope you enjoy it, and if you do, maybe you would enjoy other podcasts. Welcome to the Dorchester Online Radio Company.
Hello and welcome to the DORC podcast, a tranquil place, a quiet place, a place where you can relax and unwind, perhaps slip into something more comfortable, your special place. Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, podcast. Still no more iTunes reviews this week, so back to mentioning people from countries in which the podcast has been downloaded, or at least we have received a feed hit from. So hello to you if you are our listener in Hong Kong. Is the weather nice there? How about the food? You're looking good in that outfit. Well, that's enough trying to make this podcast interactive, and now on with the show. To be honest, I think that most people are sick of hearing about Julian Assange, and I wasn't going to put anything in the podcast about him because, well, he's an arse. But then on Thursday I heard this great bit from our mid-morning phone-in show, so it had to go in. Here's the podcast. Okay, this phone-in has got a little bit out of hand. I don't really remember how we got onto this subject, but here we are, and there you lot all are. For the last time, taxi drivers of Dorchester, I do not work for the government or any other country's secret service, be that the CIA or Mossad. I simply think that a man who has been accused of a crime should face up to those charges and answer the questions. I don't think he is better or worse than any other person. We have to respect his human rights, but we also have to respect the rights of those who've made the complaints against him. Despite his messianic balcony performance, he is no one special.
He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy!
He is not above the law, yet his shrill supporters continue to give us lefties a bad name. Okay, so George Galloway has always given us lefties a bad name simply by claiming to be one. He, of course, tends to side with dictators such as Saddam Hussein. Well, he opposed him up until the first Gulf War, but then moved, as many did, to a position of massacre denial because any enemy of the great Satan was good enough for him, and many others on the left as well. Please read Nick Cohen's book, What's Left, for details. It's brilliant, you'll love it. You hate America, George will be on your side. And so it seems you're Michael Moore, John Pilger, Tony Benn, Oliver Stone, Norm Chomsky, and Monty Python's Terry Jones. Welcome to the land of the conspiracy theory. In this land there are Machiavellian levels of plotting everywhere you look. There is no such thing as a coincidence. The US controls everything, you know. Well, in current left-wing conspiracy theories anyway. The CIA are pulling the strings of those who make claims against Mr. Assange. You should read David Aronovich's Voodoo Histories as well. Very good book on conspiracy theories. I listened to the audio version, which was narrated by a man who could kill a joke from about 50 yards. Oh, and while I'm talking about conspiracy theories, did you hear what Rush Limbaugh, professional arsehole, that's what it says on his passport, thinks this week? I say thinks, I mean spewed up. No, of course you didn't. Why would you? You're nice human beings and you wouldn't want to expose yourself to that amount of bile and anger. He claimed that the National Hurricane Center is saying exactly what President Obama has told them to over the possible path of Tropical Storm Isaac in order to mess up the GOP gathering there in Tampa, Florida, and get the press talking about the weather rather than the Republicans. Now, given the terrible performance of Mitt Romney in general, people now having a proper look at Paul Ryan's budget and finding massive black hole in the middle of it, and Todd Aitken's delicate use of the word legitimate, you'd have thought Rush would have been grateful for the press to be focusing on something else. Sorry, that was a little tangential. Where was I? Oh yes, George Galloway once gave a speech to Saddam Hussein which ended, "Sir, I salute your courage, your strength, your indefatigability." Your courage in gassing the Marsh Arabs? Your strength in torturing those who were against you? Basically, let's forget all of those innocent people you killed. I hate America, you hate America, let's call the whole thing off. Owen, can I have some oil, please? During his Eva Peron moment, Assange didn't mention the charges against him once. He just went on about how much the US hates him and WikiLeaks, which of course may be true, but that is not what this is about, despite what those old white men seem to want you to think. See how easy it is to get distracted from the actual point? This isn't about America's enemies are my friend, whom I will defend whatever. No, this is about answering questions that have been asked of a man. Serious allegations of sexual assault and rape have been made against Mr. Assange, and he must answer them. I'm not going to go through each point you, the callers to this show, have made, one by one, on why he shouldn't be extradited and why he should go to Ecuador, but I will say this. Yes, what he allegedly did would be illegal over here. The courts have ruled this. Twice. Why can't the Swedish just question him over here, is another favourite, because he isn't just wanted for questioning, he's wanted for arrest and questioning. Next, extradition is quite easy from the UK to the US. See the example of Richard O'Dwyer of the TV Shack website for details. Oh, and we are a European country, and Sweden is a European country, so we are both governed by the same European laws. These laws do cover extradition. According to the Russia Today website, the Swedish Justice Ministry has said it won't extradite Assange to the US if he faces the death penalty, in line with European law, as I understand it. Oh, and the whole Ecuador is protecting freedom of speech thing, really? Is it? They're considering extraditing a blogger to Belarus. That's Belarus, which the European Union and the United States have accused of detaining dissidents and committing other human rights abuses. And Ecuador itself has been heavily criticised for its treatment and harassment of journalists. And would he be safer there than, say, in Sweden, that liberal democracy, as opposed to Ecuador? In South America? A continent where the CIA has definitely never had any involvement whatsoever. But, I say again, all this is a distraction. This is about allegations of sex crimes, and allowing these allegations to be investigated properly. Right, let's take another call. You're on the air.
Clearly these women have invented these charges, and then be put up to it by corrupt foreign governments. Also they definitely wouldn't be rape in this country. Definitely not.
Next, you're on the air.
You are clearly in the pay of Mossad.
Next, you're on the air.
Some people believe that when you go to bed with somebody, take off your clothes and have sex with them, and then fall asleep, you're already in the sex game with them.
What are you talking about?
It might be really bad manners not to have tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Do you mind if I do it again?" It might be really sordid and bad sexual etiquette. But whatever else it is not rape.
Oh, shut up, George, you odious little man.
The Dorchester Online Radio Company is written by Martin Norris, produced by Martin Norris, and recorded in the front room of a house owned by Martin Norris. Please do feel free to give us a good review on iTunes, or Twitter and Facebook your friends to tell them about